conference will now be recorded.
Okay, this is Jim Marshall for the March the 17th, 2026 version of the AnCan Foundation's Veteran Support Group. This group is actually financially supported by a few firms, specifically Novartis, Foundation Medicine, Telix, and Blue Earth Diagnostics. This is a group that talks about Veterans Affairs. Also, we will go over into military benefits and healthcare, and then also, if by chance you are a U.S. federal civilian who decided to become what is called a double dipper, I can speak to that because I did 22 years as a federal civilian. So, um, let's see. If you would like to contact me, it's fairly simple to do. You can email me at veterans@ancan.org, O-R-G. AnCan spelled A-N-C-A-N. And I will respond to you. Also, you could possibly, well, let's just do the email at this. So, okay, I know we have, oh, Bob Schwartz, are you there? Hiding under your thing? I think we need
Yeah,
a
I'm here.
little discussion. Okay, you happen to bring up the case that you got your VA ID card, right?
Yeah, it's quicker than I thought it was.
Because-
I had to travel up to get it to Tampa, the VA hospital. And when I got up there, the first thing they said to me, said, "Why'd you come all the way up here?" I said, "Because when I talked to Washington, they said you had to go to the VA hospital to get it photo taken." So I came up. I said, "The nearest one I know of is Tampa." And they said, "That's the one you go to." And then when I got all the way up there, they said, "No, you could have went. There's a clinic down in Sarasota." I said, "Oh well, I'm here now."
Okay, now just for my own information. So at the time you went there, they did not issue you the card right there immediately, right?
Right. They took my photo and they said they'd send away for it. And they said I'd get it within 6 to 10 days, but I got it quick. This
Right.
is what it looks like right here. I don't know if you can see it.
The VA, well, anyway, I got my card a number of years ago and it was issued right there. I got it like immediately, but they decided to centralize that through Austin, Texas. So actually, Austin, Texas has the finance center too, okay, at the same time. And so it's sent there, which I think is probably a good idea because of all of the bureaucracy of the equipment and the card and the blank cards and the training of the people to make the cards and all that stuff. So, Mark, you have your hand up.
I just wanted to let Bob know with that card, if you're on the road and you have an emergency and you're going into a regular hospital, the information that you need to provide to the hospital there saying that you're a veteran is on the back of your card. And that way, all that information that you're in the ER will go to the veterans where your hospital's at, where you are being treated at. So if you go in the ER and anything, make sure you got that card because that's who's going to be billed first. But
Okay.
and then you got other things to jump through, but just make sure they know on the back of your card that's where you start to do
Oh yeah,
the
they were
financial
pretty nice to me,
portion.
and I have to be honest with you. I did not expect the card to come that fast in the mail. I mean, it was already talking a few days, And they also told me which category I fell into, which priority, and they said what you're accorded for and all, because I didn't know any of that stuff. And they were really, really decent with me. I appreciated it.
Okay, so what priority are you? I'm
Priority
curious.
one.
You should be right, priority one, because you are 100% permanent and total.
No,
Okay.
no.
No.
They didn't give me that rating. They gave me 70%.
Oh, you are 70%. Okay. I thought you had been bounced up to 100.
Now I put in appeal for
Okay.
it, and I'm still waiting to hear the results of that.
Oh, you did an appeal?
Well, not appeal,
A supplemental claim?
supplemental claim. Yes, sir.
Supplemental claim and an appeal are two different things. Okay, that's good. Okay, well, at the time that comes through or not, let's see, I didn't submit that, did I? Or did
You
I prep
helped
that?
draft it for me, sir.
Okay, fine. Good.
And I got to say one thing: if I get anything more, fine. But if not, hey, being priority one is going to be phenomenal for me for medical bills and things like that. So I'm very, very happy. No disgruntledness here. I'm very, very happy.
Right. Although we would be nice to get you to 100% permanent and total, because if you were 100% permanent and total, okay, you are then entitled to a military ID card. The same military ID card I've got looks exactly the same, except for on the back, there is no military health care caveat. So that's the same ID to get you onto the base, the commissary, and everything else. But your VA ID card can do exactly the same thing. So you can go over to McDill and shop at the commissary, post exchange, etc. Okay.
As soon as I get an answer, though, on the other thing, I'm going to let you know right away, Cap.
Well, actually, you can do it right now, because on that ID card, under your picture, you should have something like VA healthcare enrollee or something like that, and then below that it says service connected.
Exactly that,
Right?
sir. Exactly that.
Okay, that is your ticket to get on to the base, okay, the commissary, plus and with the post exchange, or excuse me, Army have post, I found out, so it's a PX. Air Force has bases, which is a BX. Trying to keep them straight is interesting. And the Navy has Navy exchanges. So, and the Marine Corps has Marine Corps exchange.
We got a D gun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Mike Cunningham, you are new. And I'm going to take a few notes here to see the lay. Okay, you were Navy, right?
Correct. Yep.
Let's see, 7 years?
6 years. ET2 when I got out.
Okay, so in the 1970s,
Yes.
right?
March of
Okay.
70 to March of 77. Excuse me, March of 71 to March of 77.
Okay, March 03. Okay. And what did you do within the Navy?
I was an electronic technician. I went to school up in San Francisco, Treasure Island, and went over to Naval Air Station Bermuda, where I worked on high power transmitters
Oh,
and maintaining
all
antennas and
right.
what have you.
High-powered transmitters. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, we used
might
to
Might be your
Yeah,
ticket.
we communicated with P3s out in the Atlantic, and we couldn't have the transmitters too close to the receiver, so we were on a transmit site about 25 miles from the main base, and
Okay.
the main base had all the receive equipment up there.
Okay. Do you recall, and you do not have to tell me now, but do you recall any equipment names of those things offhand?
Geez,
If you do, great. Drag them up because eventually it could play a role in the claim.
yeah, okay. They were, I'm going to have to kind of maybe do a little Googling. They were
Yep.
10 kW transmitters. We had a transmitter deck on the upper floor of our facility, and we lived on the lower floor. So we're leaving about 20 feet away from the transmitters. And then we were pretty much surrounded by the antenna field, which we'd
Right.
be out, moving around in constantly. So yeah, I'll try to get AN. I just can't remember.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah.
such a long
Okay.
time.
Well, hell, that's good. And if you could drag up any pictures of it,
Actually,
or
of the transmitter, yeah. Let me. I've got some pictures of the site, but they're all buddy pictures
yeah,
of the
yeah.
other guys. But
Well, and with the site's interesting too, because out of it all, the thing I try to do, okay, I understand because for 22 years I worked around claims people.
yeah,
The first group was Treasury claims for back when checks were sent out. And in fact, our group and agency was keeping the nation's checkbook. And we issued all of the payments in the government,
hmm
literally billions of them. And they were all generally printed on green government checks. So obviously, person says, I didn't get my check. Well, there was a checkbook, believe it or not, one checkbook that all these billions of checks were in, and it was a computer system, right?
yeah,
Okay, so the claims people, I kind of understand how they do their job. Then I happen to go over to, okay, OPM, Office of Personnel Management, retirement claims. So any VA claim I try to do, I try to make it a little entertaining because it can be a boring job. And attempting to read this stuff, you know, a picture here, picture there it kind of relieves the stress of things. And hey, okay, good. Um, the reason why I ask this, and this is true because under the PACT Act, as I've explained before, there are actually 3 categories, not 2. Everybody understands Agent Orange. That's me, Vietnam vet. I went west. There is the burn pits for the people, desert wars. They went east. But there's a third category called ionizing radiation. And specifically, the VA has bought off, which is probably not you, and we had a Coast Guard guy that he didn't go east, he didn't go west, he didn't even go south, okay, into the Caribbean, but he was in a Loran station. And I think
hmm
you probably know what a Loran station is.
familiar. Yeah.
The VA has accepted that as a thing called, a thing called ionizing radiation, high frequency communications exposure. That's probably what's going to be your ticket
Yeah.
into the prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And
That was stationed at that facility for 4 years. So, I got plenty RF, that's for sure.
Yes, right. RF frequency. So now, just as an update, you were diagnosed with the prostate cancer, right?
Yes, correct.
And are you what, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4?
Stage 3, TB3.
Stage 3 at his point. Okay, well then down the road, and have you done the intent to file?
No, I have not done anything with respect to VA.
Okay, well then tomorrow, the thing that because it's too late now, because it is beyond 8 o'clock at night, is to call 1-800-827-1000.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. 1-800.
827-1000.
I'm going to put it in chat here.
Okay.
Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, 1-800-827-1000, right?
Right. And
Okay.
and you will get routed to it's akin to like a VA help center, right?
Yep.
And all that you have to do is say, look, I want to do an intent to file. You
Okay.
don't have to tell them why you are doing it, what you're going to do it for, how, and what that will do tomorrow is to establish tomorrow as a pay date. Because after you do this, it will, you have 1 year to stick in a claim.
Okay.
And if you don't stick in a claim a year, it magically goes away. No harm, no foul. But because the VA understands that it takes time to put together a claim, all the paperwork and all of the doctor's stuff, and it could take you a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So by the time you stick it in, it could be like 5 months. Then it can take 2, 3, 4 months and to process the claim. But then at the time it is awarded, your disability amount will be backdated all the way back to the intent to file date. So considering that now you are under treatment, you would be rated as 100% temporarily disabled. Collecting
amigos are fighting already.
100.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I apologize.
Wait, you are muted.
Yeah, I apologize. My wife just came home, didn't realize I was on the meeting. Sorry, guys.
Oh. That's okay. Bring her over. We can, the more the merrier. She can say hi.
Okay.
So actually, during the time that you are being treated, you are jumped to 100% temporarily disabled at the pay rate of 100% temporarily disabled. Okay, and you can look it up. There is a single rate and a married rate, and if you got kids, they add on. If they're under 17, you get extra. If they're in college, you get extra, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, my kids are
thing, right.
all millennials, so they're way up there.
So as a part of the process that will take place is that along the way, I will get you up to speed on how to submit the paperwork to add your wife, because she's worth about $200 a month. Okay, onto yours because of that, along with a few other things.
Okay, I'll mention to her
Okay.
she's worth $200 a month.
Well, so
That's a joke.
anyway, yes. So anyway, that's how the flow will start out. And then also, I take it that you've actually have you established an account under www.va.gov?
No, I
Yeah.
have not.
Okay. Well, at the time that you go do that, we can have a little bit of a tutorial session and I can prepare you for that exactly how it works.
Okay.
Because it is a lot easier if you understand what's happening versus doing what I did. And within the IT world, it's called WYSIWYG.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I stumbled through it, and I was IT for 45 years, but it
Right.
still took me about close to 3 hours
Yeah.
because trying to figure out what they are attempting to do is sometimes not that obvious.
Okay.
So it isn't a problem. And as I said, there'll be a year. I figure it'll take probably a couple of months to get all of the pieces together. And then in the end, you will file your own claim
Okay.
and you'll know how to do it. And
Okay.
I think after you step through it the first time, it'll be obvious on how it needs to go after that.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
great. Yep.
Okay. Do you have questions? Any questions for me?
No, we chatted earlier today and
Okay.
we had a good conversation during that period. So really, I think I'm just going to get this submission in that you via the 800 number and then kind of
Right.
coordinate with you to understand, where to go from there. I'll do some reading and see if I can glean any information
I
myself, but probably having an expert would be pretty helpful.
Well, now the thing that I'll need up front is just a little bit of the bio information. In other words, easy. And yours sounds as if it's going to be quite small because you did basic training, you did a tech school, and you went to Bermuda.
Right.
What a
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I know. I always felt guilty when
And
guys would come out of the West.
how did you
We
homestead there for 4 years?
It was considered sea duty until the last year I was there, and
Oh,
oddly enough, I had been in the Merchant Marine prior to the Navy, and I was in
oh,
Vietnam in the Merchant Marine. So very strange
oh,
evolution of my career.
ooh,
Yeah. So I went there as a merchant seaman into Cameron. They were running oil from the Persian Gulf.
oh, okay. So you were oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever looked at the VA from the point of view of the Merchant Marine. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's any benefits for the Merchant Marine as far as Vietnam goes.
I don't know.
Hmm.
There was a benefit to my 18-year-old self. I mean, it was an interesting job. So
Oh, it was
at that,
at Venture. I know that, right?
yeah, it sure was. It was
Oh,
very, very interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, all right. So now when you say you need a bio,
Now, so the thing I need is from month, year, to month, year, someplace where it was, okay, the base name,
Yeah,
and
okay,
what was your job
okay,
name? Just a simple thing to track it down,
okay.
and also the name of the base over in Bermuda, if there is a name to it.
Yeah, yeah, there is. There was, U.S. Naval, U.S. Air Station, United States Navy Air Station, Bermuda Annex. So I'll get that all together for you.
Okay, good. And then I'll look up to see if I can't find some information about the base itself and if there were
Okay.
any problems there,
Okay.
especially with toxic materials. Now, I take it that thing had, I believe, airfield on it.
Yes, it did. Although where I worked primarily was a very small base down on the southern end of the island. Was an old, kind of old, falling apart seaplane base that was no longer used. They built it during the war
Oh,
to
okay.
track submarines in the Atlantic, U-boats, and they subsequently turned into an occasional refueling pier for naval vessels, small ones, and the transmitter site because it was convenient to have that site many miles away from the primary
Yeah, yeah.
receive station. So, yeah, it was a small base. They did ultimately turn the base over to the Bermudian government, and there was a big hoo-ha about a hazardous waste disposal facility that was literally, quarter mile from our location. So there
Right,
was
right,
that.
right. Well,
Anyway,
actually, in the scheme of things, you still went up to and were the main base off and on, right?
yes,
Because
we
there was
we rep there
probably
quite.
an exchange there. Now,
Yeah.
quarters wise, I take it you stayed down within the seaplane base, right?
Yes. Well, we literally had our quarters right below the transmitters. I mean, we were
Oh,
living within, 30 feet of the transmitter deck. We used to call them decks, of course, in the Navy.
yeah,
And
right.
so we were in the basement. It was up on the first floor.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think I have enough for us to start, and it'll be an interesting one because I haven't looked into quite like this on ships now, submarines, aircraft carriers,
Yeah.
submarine rescue ships, and all kinds of things. So,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, I'll get you some photos of the
yeah,
equipment and, of the location and so forth at some point. I go have to dig
I
through some of my stuff to find them.
yeah, the thing I'm going to try to do is to find some of the specifications for it
Yeah.
because that's always a good thing
Yeah.
and
So I'll try
see
and get
what.
they had military nomenclature, so I'll see if I can
Oh,
remember
that's
those. There was,
okay. That's okay.
yeah.
I speak that
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I'll just try and find out what they were. They should be pretty easy to
Yeah.
Google up at some point. So I'll do that.
Yeah. I don't think they were classified, right? Or
No, they were
at
not.
the
They were.
time.
I did work on classified equipment, but these
Yeah.
transmitters were unclassified. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. Okay, Danny. A second new guy, a Marine. Ah, this is our first giant Marine. All right.
Hello, everyone. Sounds like this was
Oh, hi.
a lively group
Okay.
at the beginning. I was at the right spot.
Okay. Where are you at? I'm just curious.
Minnesota.
You're in Minnesota. Oh, okay, Minnesota. Wow. Up in the cold country. Of course, it's cold here too.
I'm from Texas,
Y-
but my wife brought me up here. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, that is a good excuse. Okay. Uh, let's see. How many years did you serve in the Marine Corps?
It was just one term, and I think it was cut short by about 3 to 6.
Okay. 3 to 3.5 years.
for,
Okay, fine. And where did you serve?
boot camp was San Diego. MOS training was at Redstone Arsenal in Alabama, and first field duty station was in Camp Pendleton, California. I was a little bit in
Oh,
29 Palms out
okay.
in the desert, and a little bit at Quantico, Virginia.
29 Palms. Yeah, I stopped by there. And at Quantico. Okay, and what was your job?
2311 ammunition tech. So I basically
Ooh,
managed, went through hazmat training and ammunition, explosives, supply chain, logistics, disposal, all kinds of munitions, ordnance, and ammo.
oh, okay. Boy, you got all kinds of toxic material. Okay, interesting. Okay, and why are you looking at the VA? Oh, wait a minute, who's?
talking.
Israel.
Why all of a sudden the interest in the VA?
Well, you told me to come here, or Rick did.
Yeah,
I
right.
recently diagnosed with Gleason 10, Pirates 5, stage 4 prostate cancer 3 months
Okay.
ago.
Okay. Gleason 10 prostate. Yeah, I would think that you would be very interested in the VA. Okay, that sort of. Okay, so the thing I'm probably going to need is the same thing. Going to need a timeline. Month, year, to month, year, at a certain base doing whatever you did. And then the Redstone Arsenal, I take it was a school.
Yes, occupational school, yeah.
And if you have the name of that school, or give me an idea, and also an idea of what you were trained in. You say ammo. Okay, are you talking about transporting it, learning how to defuse it, or whatever?
Well, the
I
basic
don't
ammo,
think.
the MO Tech school was primarily about supply chain logistics, but
Oh, okay.
the secondary was about destruction of and disposal of, and you know, any grade 3 stuff that was bad, it fell off the ship or the truck, you had to blow it up, get rid of it, dispose of it.
Oh, and specifically, were you the one that happened to blow it up, or did you call up EOD types
No, we were
in
there.
general?
We would rally it, pull it together, and then EOD was a sort of a secondary billet on top of 2311 that
Right.
folks would transition to. That wasn't me, but I was part of the supply chain for sure. Keeping it in the magazines and maintaining it, shipping it, distributing it, getting attached to a artillery unit, supplying it to them, stuff like that.
And during the time that you were supplying all this stuff, did you hang out there while it was being used, or did you just drop it off and run like hell?
No. In Camp Pendleton, there's a Las Pogas, which is the ammo dump, and then Fallbrook, which is a naval a depot, weapons depot
Uh-huh.
on the backside of Camp Pendleton. We would, we'd maintain it, maintain inventory levels, supply it to trucks coming in. We would make sure it was. We do hazardous material assessment. We do quality inspections. Depending on what it was, but it was mostly small arms, little white phosphorus, little howitzer 155s, all the smaller stuff, some chemicals, some TNT, some RNX and nitroglycerins, your basic small arms stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'm So I would not downplay the handling of the toxic stuff, even if it was small. Okay, so, okay, that's, yep.
And Jim, I
Interesting.
will tell you, I see what you're doing here, and I like it because you're coaching us through what questions may arise.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted you to, I didn't think I should be here because I served less than 4 years. I wasn't a combat vet. And I thought, I don't qualify for this stuff, so I probably shouldn't come around, and that was my thought.
Oh, no, because unbeknownst to you, 29 Palms is an EPA toxic waste site. Camp Pendleton is an EPA toxic waste site. Redstone Arsenal is an EPA toxic waste site. Quantico is a little bit, not that much, only for AFFF, which is the firefighting foam. So actually, even though you were there and it seemed like it was a great place to do, unbeknownst to a lot of people, in the groundwater, there was a lot of toxic chemicals that you were drinking, brushing your teeth with, a nice cool drink. Colonel Boykin, you have your hand up.
Yes, I was just going to jump in and make a comment for both our new guys,
Sure.
Danny and Mike, is no matter how innocent the question seems, don't brush it aside, because like Captain Jim just said, there's a lot of things that you don't know about that in particular he knows about and others in this group know about because they've been playing with the VA regulations, they understand the laws and things that on the surface it doesn't appear that you qualify for. You will find out, oh yeah, you do qualify for, but they're trying to pull that out of you because you often qualify for more stuff than what you realize on the surface.
I understand.
Absolutely. Israel, you have your hand up.
Yes, sir. Happy belated St. Patty's Day to everyone. Sorry I was a little late running
Good.
around.
No
I
problem.
I just wanted to welcome Danny to the group, and I was in your same boat, Danny. I'm older than you, but I did 4.5, and I was on the West Coast here on 32nd Street in the Navy, and I had the same situation. I didn't think I qualified for anything or whatever, and I had tinnitus, like my third year in after dry dock. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of intermittent, back and forth, and then it got really bad like 4 years ago, and that's when I really started getting into all this. And I went to a prostate conference, and I heard about this group, and Mr. Jim Marshall there, Captain Marshall, he helped me get through Terra, and I don't know how much you're familiar with that, but he helped me get VA medical. So I'm fully covered with VA medical. I had no clue. I mean, I was like you. I mean, I thought, I'm not that bad off, and I only did 4 years. Or, you know what I'm saying? And so I hear where you're coming from, but you're in the right place. And these guys, all these guys here have so much knowledge that I just sit back and just soak it all in. So you're in the right place.
Okay, I appreciate it. You just reminded me, I have probably been on 10 or 15 ships at 32nd Street Naval Base down in San Diego because I used to deliver down there. I used to go on the ships, and all the time. I totally forgot about that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Now, the thing that he happened to mention, and I think I will comment out, a lot of folks are here to get money. I want disability money, right? But there is another aspect to the VA. You can get VA health care without getting money.
Right.
Or because the deal was in March the 5th of 2024, the VA came out with a thing called TERA, Toxic Exposure Risk Activity, which is not to be confused with the military world, which is there is a TERA within DOD having to do with early retirement. Okay, so if you hear in the military world, TERA, but this is the VA Terra, and possibly even though you might be in perfect health, if you can contend or prove you were exposed to toxic materials in your service, even though they haven't started to do anything to you yet, then you can be awarded TERRA, which is VA healthcare. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the interesting part is you can apply straight for just TERRA to the healthcare side. But if you put in a claim into the benefit side of the VA, then as a part of that claims processing, the healthcare people will then evaluate you for TERRA. So I had a case where a guy put in for the prostate cancer and it was on the first time through, and they denied him for the prostate cancer, but they awarded him TERRA. And consequently, after that, the thing we did was to go back on a supplemental claim and tightened it up a lot. And then he was awarded 100% temporary during the time he is being treated. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, that's and also I will ask you the same question. Do you have an intent to file into the VA yet?
I don't know. I'm here to learn about that. I think,
Okay.
I don't know.
If you don't know, you don't have one because you would be the one that would initiate this. Okay. The thing you do, the same thing as Mike tomorrow, you call up 1-800-827-1000.
Yep.
And they will ask you for your social security number, which is going to be your VA file number. Okay. And they may ask you questions about your address and zip code and everything else. And that will establish the pay date. Now, they will also say that they are going to mail you some forms to fill out. Well, just keep those forms, but don't attempt to start the claim yet. Okay, that's the thing I'll do. I will step you through it.
Okay.
Okay, exactly what has to be done. Mark, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to let Danny know that
Yeah.
you're in the right spot. And just like Bob up there, it's all going to take time. You're going to get your little card, go to the VA and get your card, get you registered into the VA hospital and on the medical side. You got a lot in your basket right now because your prostate cancer and all the information that they're throwing at you. And so you're on it's kind of a wobbly course because you're trying to get information from the VA. And, you know, uh, I don't want to throw Dan under the bus, but, Dan's in the high risk group, high intermediate too. So he's a veteran in that kind of position. And we're all here just trying to say, you got a lot on your plate, but at the same time, there's a lot of people here that will help you. And it just takes time. It's not going to happen real quick, but the medical side is one, benefit side's the other. But with what you got to get your card and start working on this medical side, so you don't have to pay for anything out of your pocket. So it will take time, but you'll get there. You're in the right spot.
I appreciate those words.
Well, at this point in time, I might as well bring it up. Okay. If you were to go down next week to get, and with a medical card, you would probably get denied because you don't have a claim in, you have no disabilities, and they would ask you for income, assets, all this kind of stuff, and you would probably be too high. Okay, now, if indeed medical is important to you, okay, like you say, look, you know, I need some assistance to do the medical aspect of the prostate cancer, the thing that can be done instead of trying to put in a claim for money, we turn around and we go after health care, because the VA, understand this, the VA's divided into 3 separate Marine Corps or Navies or Air Force, and they don't talk to each other and they don't interface with each other. So there is the healthcare Marine Corps that strictly does healthcare. No money, strictly healthcare. Then there's the benefit Marine Corps that gives you money, disability money, GI Bill, home loans, insurance, etc. And then the cemetery army. Okay. So what usually everybody wants to do is to put in a benefit claim to get money, and provided you get a disability out of it, you will get health care. Okay. But that's going to take some time. That could take 6 months. Okay, a couple months to put the claim together, and then a couple months to have it processed and adjudicated. In the meantime, you're just essentially a registered vet. And according to them, you've got no service-connected disabilities. Okay? So, if indeed healthcare is the most important thing to get in the beginning, then we go on a shortcut and we go after healthcare. There's a form that gets filled out, a VA form 1010EZ, and it asks the question about, have you been exposed to toxic materials? Okay. And now we then focus on explaining what toxicity that you were exposed to, so you can then qualify under TERRA. And then what could come out of it is they award you 100% free VA healthcare. No money, but healthcare. That gets you that card, gets you into the hospital, gets you all expenses paid in healthcare. And then after that, we turn around and say, now we need to get you money besides, and we go over into the benefit Marine Corps and we start a claim over there. So it just depends as to what your financial and healthcare situation. Mike, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to stress to you, Jim, that I'm in the same boat
Okay.
as Dave. I'm primarily interested in the healthcare benefit. The money would be nice, but the healthcare is my primary objective.
Okay, now the primary objective, yes, is it a critical short term, or is it down the road, or what's the criticality?
It's well, short term in the sense of the flexibility that VA might offer me. I'm in Kaiser and I'm limited by Kaiser. And you may tell me, Jim, that that limitation is going to remain whether I'm VA or not. But my biggest concern is being trapped in the Kaiser system and not being able to easily move outside of it for specialists and so forth.
Okay, at this point in time, the way I understand, you are just within the beginnings of the prostate cancer journey.
That's correct.
Okay. So actually, depending upon what treatment you're having, Kaiser would probably be okay for the next 3, 6 months, a year. Okay.
Right. I think that's probably
Uh,
the reality, admittedly.
right. Where Kaiser gets to be a little not quite the place to be is that once you're in it for a number of years and you become what is called castration resistant, which now all of a sudden the drugs that are the easy ones to get, now it gets a little complicated. And that's where you need essentially a person who really understands it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like in the next 6 months that you need to escape out of Kaiser.
I think that's true. And those areas we've already discussed where I need a second opinion, worst case, I'll just self-pay. But, as we get
Well,
into
the second opinions, let's see, how old are you?
I'm 74.
Oh, okay. So Medicare will pay for second opinions.
Well, see, the problem with that is I'm a Kaiser Advantage plan member.
Yes.
And as
Yes, that
yeah,
is true. Kaiser,
yeah,
yeah, because I got converted to that unknown to me, and where the wife did not tell me for
yeah,
a couple years because okay, yeah.
yeah. See, that pretty
Well,
much limits.
uh,
But
the second opinions that you need are not that expensive.
no, so I think your assessment is accurate. And let me say,
Yeah.
Jim, I'd rather
Okay.
focus being on Danny. He's got a more important issue than I do, and so
Yeah. Well,
we can speak with you offline.
we got time. We got another hour, so
Okay.
it's a
We'll just-
2-hour thing,
I
and
won't.
so if we happen to run out, then hey,
Okay.
I am done.
I have your phone number, so.
Oh yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay. Getting back to Danny, you put some stuff.
That was I meant to.
Oh.
Somebody asked me some question in the chat, and I put it to everyone.
Okay.
Jim,
Okay.
Captain Jim, what do you
Yeah.
want me to call you? Which one is it?
Jim. Jim is fine.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I was a Mustang. Hey,
make
anyway,
sure
I was a Mustang, so hey.
All right, yes, sir. So it's important to know that I do have a service-connected disability. It's just a 10%er, but it's there.
Okay, now. Okay, well, hell, still. So, and what's the 10% for?
It's a training accident, nothing to do with chemicals or hazmat or anything.
No. What was it for? Hypertension, hearing, tinnitus?
I had a knee surgery. I blew out my knee and jumped out of the back of a 15-ton with 80 pounds on my back and popped it out and had a surgery at the Navy hospital there in Camp Pendleton. So
okay, so at this point, you do have a 10, you do have service connected, which means you do have health care, but the only free health care you've got that is on the books is free is for the knee.
Right, which I've
That's
never
it.
Yeah.
Right. So actually that can expand. So let's get back to the fundamental question. How important is it to you to try to get in quickly to the VA healthcare system, looking at what healthcare you've got today, which I take it is a private plan, employer plan, or what?
Yeah, it's not that important, at least today. I work for Raytheon, and
Oh, okay.
I make pretty good money, and I have pretty good. My wife is she makes good money, so we have good insurance, we have good income,
Oh, good.
we have good retirement. But the advanced prostate cancer with the maxed out Gleason and maxed out stage 4 with metastasis and all that stuff, that sort of makes you concerned about your future stability, right? And so
Oh,
I
absolutely.
when you say, okay, we got multiple paths here. One is the VA benefit versus the VA healthcare. Can you stack them? Can you just get one or the other? And you say, what are you
Oh,
interested in, Danny? I think I don't know quite yet because I don't know what the future holds. I've only been on hormone meds for like 3 months, and I know I'm going to go through
okay.
radiation. I know I'm probably going to go through other stuff, but who knows what that will be yet. So I'm just interested in pursuing anything to help supplement or augment any risks financially or healthcare coverage that I
Right.
may have in the future.
Okay, so before I give you my assessment, Israel, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to make a few comments that apply to both Danny and Mike. So I also have Kaiser, and I've been dealing with like BPH and checking my PSAs for like 15 years. And I recently had like my third biopsy and second opinions and all that stuff, and thankfully it was negative, right? So but I was real proactive, and so I also was worried about Kaiser, and so I wanted to get the VA as a backup because it's nice to get second opinions and all that other good stuff. And so when I initially applied, I did exactly what Jim said. Before I knew Jim in this group, I applied on my own. I submitted my how much I made, and they denied me. Boom. I'm like, shoot. So then Jim helped me out, and he did his magic, and they awarded me Terra. Or no, we put in the application, and I don't like to wait. I mean, because it could take a while. I mean, if you just wait for them to respond to you, I mean, it could take a while. So I kept calling them, and you just have to be persistent. Because I called, and I found the right person when I called them. They said, "Oh, let me check your application. Oh, you have Terra. Oh, I'm gonna take care of you right now." Boom! In 5 minutes, they gave me the Terra, and only because I was persistent. I didn't want to wait for them. I mean, so I guess my advice to you is that don't take no for an answer. Let them know you have Terra, and you may have to call back 3 or 4 or 5 times and get that right person. And by the grace of God, I got the right person. She hooked me up right then and there. I couldn't believe it. It was a miracle. I was like, oh my God. I mean, she's like, I have VA medical like in 5 minutes. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Just don't give up, so.
Yep.
Height in that, although as a part of the claim that was being processed, it had been awarded in the claim, but the claim hadn't been given to you yet. And so, yes, they can do that. So the thing I'm hearing out of both of you, the avenue to pursue is to go into the benefit side to put in a claim for the prostate cancer, and then out of that will surely come, provided they accept the service connection part. That will be the challenge. Why can we blame the Marine Corps? Why can we blame the Navy? Okay, for causing this. The fact you have it, yes, absolutely, they will agree. But the challenge is, what's the service connection?
Right.
And that's what I try to figure out how to engineer that. So as a part of that claim, even if they deny the service connection for it, they are not going to deny the fact that you were handling toxic materials. And that's where Terra comes in. and you get the health care. Now, specifically for the Kaiser side, or essentially any private health insurance that you've got, like I've got Kaiser, okay? But I also have TRICARE, and I've also got VA. So the thing I did long ago before the VA is at the time that you get awarded VA healthcare, you tell Kaiser, hey, well, in Mike's case, the VA will pay third because Medicare pays first, Kaiser pays second, and the VA pays third. In your case, Danny,
Blue Cross.
the VA will pay second.
Okay.
So your private insurance pays first. And the beautiful part is whatever the amount that you were to pay out of pocket in your plan will be billed to the VA.
Yeah.
And whatever the VA will allow, not what they get billed. They could get billed $1,000 and they go, what? 200. That must be accepted as final payment. So I know in the time that I've had the Kaiser and the TRICARE for life, I have never paid out of pocket for anything except for drugs.
I think that's that's desirable for me because you know, these commercial insurance plans are they deny, and you got to battle them. And if you can have secondary or third level coverage where it can pick up that extra that you're having to pay out of pocket, I think that's valuable. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. Now, in the case with the private plan, if indeed there is a denial and they won't budge, you can always go over to the VA because the strategy is once you get the VA healthcare essentially within your back pocket. Okay, the intent says, look, okay, I will only use it provided I have to. Okay, then you go to the VA and you have a primary care provider and you get seen by them for the stuff that Kaiser might deny or a second opinion. That's the thing I did. Okay, I had a Kaiser cancer doctor, and so I went to the VA for a second opinion. The only catch was they didn't have the doctor available who could actually issue that second opinion. So they authorized me out to community care, which is in essence, I got a voucher and they referred me over to Johns Hopkins. All expenses paid.
Okay, understood.
So that's a sort of a strategy you can use.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
But that's going to take some time provided we go through and putting in a claim first for the benefits. Then after the benefit claim as a part of the adjudication process of that benefit claim, the healthcare side will evaluate you for TARA. And since you were a ammo explosive uh, nitroglycerin guy in the Marine Corps, I don't think we'll have a problem with TARA.
I think that was probably my biggest question here. Is like you asked me earlier, what's the urgency? I'm not in a big hurry. I don't feel like I am to get benefit or to get healthcare coverage through the VA, but I would like to get it over the long term or the long haul.
Oh,
so that was going to be my question, gut check question. Do you think,
Right.
based on what I've heard on my bio so far, absolutely pursue it? There's no reason why, but why not to pursue? But it seems pretty likely that I could get one or the other, healthcare or terror or whatever to some extent, right?
The healthcare looks pretty good. Now, the prostate cancer, I haven't looked into the explosives and all of the things that go boom as far as prostate. Now, if you were a large vehicle mechanic like Eric Baker was, handling all that trichloroethylene to clean the grease off of bearings and gears and stuff, hey, already had 3 of those success stories.
Yeah.
Okay, causing known causes of prostate cancer. So I may have to dig into some of the chemistry of the explosives that you handled. And the
Okay.
good part of it was I was almost a chemist until I flunked German in my junior year. And they refused my lab coat because I couldn't handle German. So I did math. So
Well, it sounds encouraging. Before joining this group, I was like, God, I'm not going to pursue that. I don't think I'd qualify for any of it, based on the fact that I didn't deploy in combat, right? And I think that's a stupid
right,
move,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, well,
Well, that's as I said, spread it around because most of the military Marine Corps bases, I know, Yuma, Lejeune, etc., are EPA toxic sites. Mark.
yeah.
I just want to let Danny, I'm aviation ordnance. So when I was in Vietnam, load it and go. That's it. So I touch mines, guns and rockets and all that other stuff. So I just wanted to let you know you're in the right spot at the right time. It's going to take you a while. Take a breath. You got a lot on your plate. So just hang in there, buddy. Well, between Jim and the rest of us guys here on the screen, we'll get you through this one step at a time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Rick Davis, the founder of AnCan, has joined us. Mr. Rick,
Yeah.
anything to
Well, I just wanted to
words of
comment
wisdom for us?
Well, I just wanted to comment for Danny and for Mike. I'm sure that you've spent some time with Mike, and Mike was another gent who said, "Oh no, no way, not me." But we told him that once he spoke to Jim Marshall, we'd be turning his head around on that one. But one of the we encourage everybody to be dual enrolled. And we do that because even if you have terrific healthcare insurance, a lot of times, if for no other reason, you can get some very, very expensive drugs at a very reasonable price through the VA. And even though you have to jump through hoops to do that, meaning that you've got to get a primary doc, and then you've got to get a urologist, and then you've got to get a medical oncologist, and once you have it, if you have a prescription that is in order from your non-VA doctor, the VA is almost always going to honor it. Your VA oncologist is always going to honor it. And some of these drugs are mighty expensive. Now, if you're on Medicare, yeah, we have a limit now, thank goodness. So you can't be more than $2,100 out of pocket in the worst case. If you're not on Medicare and you're on a private insurance through your company, the out of pockets may be very significant. And what happens if you're dual enrolled is that nothing's going to cost you more than $11 a month or whatever. It used to be $11 a month. I don't know how much is it now. What do they get you for now?
I have no idea because I haven't even tried it yet.
Okay.
Okay,
But
so
I
it
mean, Rick,
isn't that much, I know.
Rick, just to give you an example, I diagnosed November 24th, just like 4 months ago, right? I blew through almost $9,000 of HSA money in the first 3 months.
yep.
And I'm just like, God dang, where'd it go? I'm gonna need some backup here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So the quicker we get you through your dual enrollment, then the sooner you can get those drugs that you were blowing through, blowing your HSA through the VA.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference. You know, I mean, my bet is $11 a month ain't gonna break the bank. So, you know, we need to get that for you. Guys, what is it? Is anybody getting any of these fancy drugs like, you know, Nubeca or Abby or well, Abby's not so expensive anymore, or
No.
enzalutamide, or any of you getting these fancy drugs through the VA? And what are you paying a month?
I'm getting Keppra. Vimpat runs about anywhere from 550 to 650 on the street, and those are all for seizure medicine. I mean, and now for Parkinson's, of course, I'm dealing with other things, but
Yep.
I mean, just Vimpat and Keppra. Vimpat's very expensive, so just that. And I
And how
haven't
much are
paid
you
any.
paying at the VA?
Zero.
Zero, huh?
I don't pay anything. I
Okay.
just smile. Yep, I just smile and it comes to the front door. That's it.
Okay. So you know, it's definitely it. They make you jump through hoops, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. And with Captain Jim navigating you, those hoops will be fewer than most people. So that was sort
All
of
right,
the
so Danny, the thing I think I'm hearing now is it would be a wise thing to go after the Terra before you go after money. Is that
That's fair.
does
I mean, you want both, but if one's a
well,
guarantee and the other's possible later on, then yeah.
well, it isn't a guarantee, it is time. Okay, because to put together a claim for the prostate cancer and the service connection part of it and all that stuff's going to take a couple of months to probably just get the claim together and then submit that claim. And it could take 3 months to 4 months, 3.5 months to do that. But the Terra claim to go after healthcare because now you do have the healthcare in place. So there's a second form called a VA Form 1010 EZR, which is the update to your healthcare. And that's the one that would have to be created, and the form's easy, but then the explanation about all this toxic stuff that you were exposed to, that's is not going to take as long to do as a straight claim would for the prostate cancer. Then after that claim is mailed in, believe it or not, healthcare people require you to mail it to them. No electronic transfer, no faxing. You got to mail it to them. And that could be done in probably a month and a half, max, I would think. Okay. And then after that's in, then we go after the money.
Sounds like a plan. That works for me.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he's got 10% already, so that's why I was asking about his card. Has he already got
Well,
his
he
card?
does have the 10%, but the 10%'s only for a knee.
Right, but
And
with that need, Jim, he can go into the VA and get his card from the VA hospital.
oh,
That's what I'm trying to get to is if he doesn't
true,
have a
as
yeah,
far
if he
as the
doesn't have
card goes, but
correct.
as far as the healthcare goes, it might be a billable event, or else they'll bill Raytheon.
Right.
And then I don't know if Raytheon would reject that bill and force him to pay it.
Oh.
See?
He's just got a lot on his plate.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does.
He just, I think, yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's a matter of sequencing is what this
Right.
really boils down to.
Correct.
And because they're all different decision approval cycles by different people. And so when you think about this strategy, guys, what you have to think through is processing times, how long it takes, as Captain Jim's laying out. How long does it take you to get your paperwork in? And then the other piece of that is how much of that can be reused into your second claim going forward. And that will save you some time. But that's the piece that we got to kind of help you work your way through so that you can get through both of these as fast as possible. And then when you factor in, you say, healthcare is more important, then that slates, Captain Jim to go a different way with you first. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm just trying to make sure everybody understands that these are really two different benefit packages that you actually are submitting.
Okay.
What else?
So
Let me just think a
Yeah,
second if there's
go.
anything else. And Mr. Cunningham, are you all squared away?
Man, I left yesterday's meeting depressed. There was so much to do, but I hammered it. I've got an MRI scan lined up. I've got a colonoscopy lined up. I got contact, and Epstein did answer the phone, by the way. So
Yeah, there you go.
See?
I couldn't
There you
believe it. The guy of his, seniority answering the phone himself. Anyway, I got connected with him. He's sending me. He's sending some forms and what have you. I hope to have those tomorrow, and then I can get that rolling. So yeah, I've made some great progress since yesterday.
Yeah, no, I think it would be good to have Epstein. I don't want to talk about medical stuff too much in here, but I do think it would be good to have Epstein confirm, since there's confusion over exactly what we're seeing and two different biopsies, and and there's nobody who has a better eye in the world. I mean, I don't often say this, but there's no one who has a better eye in the world than Jonathan Epstein.
Yeah.
And he's great with our guys. He's on our advisory board. He really goes out of his way to help the AnCan guys. And I think it's a really smart move. Before you sort of finally decide how and where you're going to go.
Yeah, I read his bio. Guy's dynamite. And just one more quickie. I did get the Casadex thing with my guy, with my physician. I'm going to start that 7 days early.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. I would, if you've got the drug, if it were me, I'd take it 10 days early. I'm just saying, if it were me, that's what I would do.
My doc approved 7 days, so she relented. So I'm gonna take the 7 days.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, on your behalf, when this goes out on the internet, on YouTube, and somebody's clicking in on this, this is why this information needs to be spread out through us, the veterans, is that AnCan has this group, and we're all here together to get this going, because Mike's a good example right now. He's like, it's a couple of days ago, and now he's like happy because all this is going on. But this is what AnCan does for the veterans. So if you're on YouTube right now and you're looking at this, you got to let them know, like Danny, I didn't know I had all this. Well, here you are. So you're in the right group at the right time. And so tell your friends to come on over here and we'll help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually something else you have to tell everybody too, which is Easter is coming up. And when Easter comes along, when Easter comes along, never mind buying AnCan shirts.
Yep, and you can get a sweater.
There is some headwear that certain people in this group wear. There is some headwear, and not only do they wear the headwear, we usually see it in this group. So very soon, that headwear. When's the next meeting? I hope it's before Easter. Your next
No,
meeting.
after
When's
April the
Easter this
5th,
year?
I think it is.
April the 5th.
No, April the 7th.
Oh,
Hey.
I know what you're talking about. No, I haven't gotten that out yet, but my Easter bonnet is still put away.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And the meeting is not until April the 7th, so you better keep it out. Don't put it away after Easter.
I'll have to go look for it. It's out there somewhere.
Yes, because we'll want to see you in your Easter bonnet.
Sure will.
And Eric is saying, I'm finding another group. I can't handle this group. It's too big.
These guys are nuts, he said. These guys are absolutely crackers. AnCan wise, I'm not sure that there's anything to bring to your attention. We are going to have having a interesting webinar, but it's really it's going to be for everybody eventually. But right now, it's just for the AS guys on lifestyle issues, and we passed it along to a couple of the guys in here. That'll be on April 1st. I can't think of anything else. I don't know. It's been a long.
Okay.
It's been a long day, so. And we don't know where Sylvester is. He's AWOL. He wasn't in the Care Partners group. I'll probably send him, make sure he's okay.
Oh, good. Okay, Bob Schwartz, you have your hand up.
Yeah, this is for Mike and Danny. Listen, I'm fairly new to the group. I've only been in it about a year and a half. I remember when I first really my wife found out about it, turned it on to me as far as looking this. First time I hit this, it was like a roller coaster because you're in a nightmare when you first find out about what you got. You're going to get hit with a lot of information. Just slow down, take it easy. These guys are going to be here. They're going to be here to help you any which way they can, whether it's this group or the other group for the medical thing. They're going to provide you the information you need. It's going to be there. I know it's a lot at first, but you're going to see how it makes time. And one thing I found that'll help you if you really want to try is look at the past videos on YouTube. And you'll glean a lot of information from there for what's transpired over the years with different individuals. You'll see what they went through, good, bad, and indifferent, which could help affect your choices in what you do. It's the best kind of information because you're going to get information from people that are professionals, non-professionals, and what they went through. In other words, you can have somebody else's experience without you having to experience, which is the best thing that can happen to you. It really helps you make an informed decision. And I'm going to tell you, because I am the most critical guy you could meet probably, this is phenomenal. And I'll say even to Rick, he's good too. And I even challenged him before, and he's proved me wrong every time. And I'll say it to his face. I'm glad he proved me wrong because it helped me. And I don't think I'd be here today if it wasn't for him, Captain Jim, Len, the rest of the moderators, the Colonel, and all that. You know, they're such a great group of guys, and even the past members. There's so much you can learn from it. Check out the video, seriously.
Okay. Okay, Danny, is there any questions or anything? We know that tomorrow you do intent to file. Okay, that will give us a year to file and with a benefit claim. Okay.
I've got it queued up right here, Captain Jim.
Great. And then I need that information about the jobs you did and some of the explosives that you handled, and I'll start doing some stuff to heat search chamber, the chemistry, and you already, and hopefully the Marine Corps job series hasn't changed from 2311 because sometimes I find that to be quite interesting to be used to describe to the civilian the duties of the job. Okay. And I'll round up some stuff and then I'll probably get with you and we will hash it over to see what's good, what should be included, and then I'll do a draft of the sworn statement about your exposure to toxic materials. Okay? And it may bring tears to your eyes, but that's okay.
Sounds like a plan. Captain Jim, I should let you know that I do travel 2 weeks back to back for work. I take off,
okay.
and so I'll try to get the intent done this week. I got the notes here from the message today, and I'll get that started. But I'll be on the road for 2 weeks for work, and I might not be available because when I'm on travel, it's go.
Well, there is always email.
Yep.
Okay, email's great. You know, I use that, and it isn't like time critical that you have to reply within 2 hours or something, you know. So at the time you can. Now, how far do you travel? I'm just curious for your job.
Last year I traveled 16 times, all in the lower 48. This year I'll travel to Western Europe and to the US probably, you know, once or twice a month usually. Sometimes I'll get 4 or 5 weeks back to back, which is pretty rough. But right now I've got it chilled out to about 1 or 2 times per month.
Okay, and what type of a job do you do now?
Well, it's Raytheon, and it's a desk. I'm a POG, personnel other than grunt. I'm a desk job, but it's business, director of business systems. So it's kind of.
Oh, okay. So it isn't handling toxic materials. Oh, okay. Because if it was, then they might say, well, the Marine Corps didn't do it. Raytheon did it. Okay, so that is a plus point. You can say I'm a personnel type at a desk. So obviously all this toxic stuff was during my Marine Corps time.
You know, one quick question for the group. You know, all the testing that I've been through, and Rick and I have talked about this one, I have gone through all the genetic testing as well. And interestingly, the germline, the inherited genetic test results showed no adaptations or mutations from the solid prostate biopsy. So I didn't have any out of those 80 gene alleles. I didn't have any hits on that. And then the somatic testing, which is what you're supposed to later in life, or what you do eat exposed to, that also was negative for any adaptations or mutations. So when I think about filing, I would say, well, if I didn't inherit anything, then that rules out a possible root cause for cancer, right? But on the somatic side, you know, that one I think is kind of messed up, and we need to follow up on that, figure it out.
Yeah.
Danny, what I would say is that your somatic test was done from the primary tumor. And I think it's more reliable when it's done from a metastatic tumor, and particularly if it's done with a liquid biopsy, which you can't do. So I would argue that at some point when we can do it, we need to do it from a metastatic lesion.
Yeah.
That would be my argument, but you'll see, you know, you're progressing with seeing Dr. Antanarakis, correct?
I'm on his agenda. His admin has me in their queue and working on an appointment.
So when you get to see Dr. Antanarakis, you'll ask him. That's right up his alley, and he'll tell you what he thinks about that, and he'll tell you if he thinks you're going to get a different result from a metastatic than from a primary. I mean, you know, he's a expert to answer that question. This is just what I know in my gut, but he'll tell you.
Okay.
So we'll wait and see.
Rick, the point in bringing that up for Captain Jim is that, you know, when I file this paperwork and you do they ask, have you had germline inherited genetic testing to look for that, or is that because I didn't inherit anything there, so I didn't even know if that was a variable in the benefit process, the claim
No.
process.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with it
Okay.
at all.
So it doesn't matter.
Nothing at all.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Eric. Eric has an interesting case which also happens to lap over to actually Mike, because they were both within the reserves. Okay, so all of us other people were in full-time jobs, okay, for 4 years, 8 years, 12, 20, 25 years. But how do you handle a weekend warrior kind of thing in a National Guard or a reservist? And Eric was a large vehicle mechanic, which means handled a lot of grease. And to clean the grease, trichloroethylene was the preferred solvent. I know at the time, anyway, I was a mechanic only for a year, though. It was a great thing, especially on the bearings, okay, and the wheels and stuff, to clean off the axles and to clean off our hands, especially at the end of the day, because they would get dirty like crazy. Now, the catch is, in a reservist, how do you clock time? Okay, because a reservist goes off to basic training, then they conceivably go to a school, which is a full-time school, and that could be for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Then they go home, and now they serve a weekend a month for 11 months. And then we also have summertime on a 2-week. You are on duty for 2 week in a summer camp, kind of like doing your job. So the amount of time that you were exposed to toxic material drops down immensely from the years into actually months. And the question begs to be asked is, how many months do you need toxic exposure for? Well, in the looking around, I've seen, like at Camp Lejeune, if you were there, it's generally 1 month. All you need is a 1 month exposure at Lejeune, and they've got all kinds of toxin. So in Eric's case, or excuse me, Eric's case, I think you served 6 years, or is that Mike?
That
Yes,
was me.
Eric.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, I served 6.5 years to you.
I
right.
served 6.
So if you take the school, which was what, 3 months or so, okay, that's 3 month exposure. And then for, let's say, 5 of those years, there was a 2-week summer camp. That's another few months. And then how many of the weekends a year? Okay, let's say 11 of those. So that's about 3 weeks each. So by the time you add up a 6-year hitch, you can get somewhere around 6 months exposure. Is that going to do it? I believe it will. But now, explaining that to a VA adjudicator so they understand it, hey, it took me a little time to try to get sort of a mental picture of this. So the thing I'll do is I'll probably put together a spreadsheet, and it'll be like a totaled up, and then if they have a question, there it is. Okay? So that's the way it goes with that aspect. You know, that's how come, and with the bio info on where you were and the job you did is sort of a fundamental. Also, I like to supply that in the beginning because it's only polite that you introduce yourself, because this person has no idea who you are, what you did, what's it. So the nice thing is to sort of view it as if you were going to walk into their office, and probably the first thing you do is what? Introduce yourself. Well, we do the same thing essentially in the claim. And that's the thing I do in the claim. Plus also, I like to put pictures, like I'm dragging down some pictures of the infamous 5-ton trucks that they repaired, only so I can show this person what kind of a vehicle and they have an idea. So anyway, Bruce, you joined us late. Are you still there?
I'm
All
still
we see
here.
is there we go. All we see is a picture of a ceiling fan. Is there anything to bring up?
No.
Okay, I think Bruce is off getting some Nexus, a Nexus letter out of his cancer doctor that we are going to blame trichloroethylene for his prostate cancer. So
I
away
was
we go.
what amounted to a battery armorer for a couple of years in the National Guard in the 70s. And we cleaned rifles and 50 caliber guns, machine guns with trichloroethylene.
Right. Hey, it was a great thing. I happened to use it. I thought it was great. I mean, it did great things, cleaning off axles and bearings, and
Yeah.
cleaning the grease off of the equipment, because the equipment had to look good. Because if it didn't look good in the peacetime, it couldn't be any good. And right within the wartime, who cares how it looks? It just needs to run well.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on.
Yep. And okay, Eric, you have your hand
Hey,
up.
and this kind of goes back to some earlier conversations you had. I just had a quick question. Right now, I'm
Okay.
somewhat stuck in this. Before I even got prostate cancer, I was already 50% VA disabled, so I had full-time medical benefits, which is great.
Right.
Never ever used them. Never ever, not one time.
Oh.
So finally, I went in for the very first time, or finally got established. We did the whole virtual appointment, but I'm trying to use that VA now as my secondary insurance. Similar to Danny, I've got a great job, great insurance, but you know what? I still pay that out of pocket, and it sucks.
Well,
Every year for the last 3 years, I've hit that big fat number. So, like you said in the past, where I'm stuck at though is I called my insurance company and said, "Hey, I've got VA insurance." And I said, "Great, tell us what type it is. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, is it TRICARE? Is it, what are you talking about? What do you have? And I was
It's
like, well,
VA,
I'm disabled. Yeah, I'm VA. It's a disabled insurance.
Veterans
Well,
Affairs.
yeah. So of course they asked me 30 questions, just like Danny said earlier. They don't want to ever pay. It's deny, deny, deny. So they didn't even want to mess with it. So now, so then I called the VA and I was like, well, hey, listen, I've got all these established doctors outside of the VA. How do I navigate through this? And they said, well, send us all your medical records. So I'm like, you want everything? Yeah, just the synopsis of your last visits, all of them. So now I'm in the process of gathering that all up to send to them so they can actually recommend, like what you said, to be able to go outside to community care. Because I think once that gets established with that doctor, if I can, then I can actually go back on the VA and say, okay, now you're liable for whatever my insurance doesn't pay. Am I wrong in
Well,
thinking that way, or how does that work?
well,
I'm confused.
there's two different issues here. Okay. The issue has in the private insurance is supposed to bill the VA second. And what they need is your information to bill them.
Right.
Okay. Which would be your VA file number, etc. Now, what that process is, I don't know. I know Kaiser knows it, fine. Now, what I think the VA's talking about getting all of these medical records into them because that would bring you into the VA healthcare. They are going to probably look at what you've got and see if VA healthcare can handle you. Okay, now, if VA healthcare can't handle you, that's where they might authorize you out to community care. That's where you get the voucher and you go off. Okay, let's say that you're using Dr. Jones' cardiologist right now. I take it that you are not in like some preferred provider or
No,
HMO or
yeah,
what?
no, I am in a preferred provider, but everyone in this community is in that
Okay,
program.
well, still, as a preferred provider. Okay, so, and you love Dr. Jones. The only catch is at the time you see him, your insurance plan bills you $100, right? Okay, now, let's say you go off to the VA and they deem that you are entitled to or could use community care. Now, if you are going to use community care, any doctor that you might see has to already be kind of like signed up for community care to see veterans through community cares because what happens is they must accept whatever the VA allows. Like, as I pointed out last time, I went over to Hopkins, right? So I trip over there, referred to by the VA, and I've got the paperwork, which is a voucher. Think of it as a credit card. Okay. So over I go and I see this crackerjack cancer doctor over there, and I then get to see the bill. And the bill that Hopkins sent to the VA, and for her, Hopkins billed $620 and the VA paid $380, which, hey, okay, fine. Then I had 5 blood tests. Hopkins billed the VA $380 a blood test. the VA paid $10.59 each. Okay. And I paid nothing because as a part of community care agreement, they understand that whatever the VA allows, not what gets billed, must be accepted as final payment. So in this case, if this Dr. Jones had agreed to accept community care, then you could go right back to Jones, the same doctor that you love, and now the bill goes to the VA and you owe nothing. See?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, depending upon the VA people themselves, when they refer you out to community care, they may have a list of the doctors who have gone through the process. The way I understand there's a process that a doctor has to go through to be able to put onto the list of available community care doctors that will accept this. Okay, because obviously they don't pay top, amount, but out of the VA you can get a lot of work. So it's volume versus how much you charge. So now getting back to your private provider, I don't know how to force them to bill the VA
Back.
unless somehow if they are going to refuse to bill the VA and they bill you, you might want to investigate how maybe you can take that bill and you can somehow file it
With
to
the
the
VA.
VA and get them to pay it, or you have to pay it and they pay you back.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That's something that is not easy to find out because the healthcare people take care of their own billing, and that's all consolidated down in Austin, Texas, as I found out. And it isn't even the VA that does it. It's Department of Treasury, my old agency that I used to work for. Woo! Speak about convoluted. Colonel Boykin.
Eric, I was going to say, I've run into this problem even with TRICARE, with civilian providers. And what I typically have found is the issue is with the provider that you are working with. They have in their head that information has to be presented in a certain way. And so they're asking for the stuff. And most of the time, I've asked to speak to somebody else that was more experienced in billing to work with, because then they could figure out how to process it and get the claim, because they keep asking like for certain things, and at the end of the day, all they're looking for is a billing number, but they can't seem to find what they're looking for, and so they might get confused. For example, that a VA file number that you're using is really your social, but it's also your VA, right. So I, instead of maybe, maybe it's just that person. I don't want to say that everybody is ignorant, but I would say that you might need to talk to somebody else.
Okay.
That's in there, because I know that I always run into this issue with people over, especially if I'm dealing with them over the phone.
Right.
Because all they're doing is sit behind a computer screen trying to type some number into a form, and you don't know anything about their education or their experience.
Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate that.
Okay. I thank you very much. Oh, it's now 10 o'clock. So it's about time to wrap up. Oh, another good one. The next one will be April the 7th. So I want to thank everybody for coming. And again, this is the AnCan Foundation's Veterans Group. And I'm Jim Marshall, and you can contact me through AnCan at veterans@ancan, spelled ANCAN.org. And I thank you very much, and I'll see everybody next month, April the 7th.
Good night, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Take care, Ken.
Okay?
Night.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Okay,
Good night,
take care.
everybody.
Good night.